In there with us. Both the two guys that are expert at this AV thing are both on vacation, and they're wonderful, but they deserve to go away every once in a while. So, well, Beth is messing with this. No?
Still, okay, then we just need to go
Okay.
to other.
So, you know, I've been around BAIPA for, I don't know, 6 years, I think. And it's just thrilling to see this many people. I mean, we've had really good attendance for these kinds of things. And somebody said earlier that it's gotten more and more complicated, and that's why I'm here. So I want to try to explain things in a way that you understand the order in which to do things, and also the, like I said, best practices. Okay?
Where's your escape key?
Just
That's
enter.
it. Oh, there we go. Okay, so you just want to flip it around.
So, and what we're going to do is this morning, we're going to walk through some of the best practices, and the main best practice is doing KDP first. Okay. Now, I also want to, make sure that everybody understands what print on demand is. Is there anybody here who doesn't know what print on demand means?
I think you should explain it.
Okay. Print on demand, in contrast to hiring a printer to print a bunch of books for you. So that means literally the books are printed on demand. So there are two companies, KDP and IngramSpark. And there are other print on demand printers, but they can't get your book up on Amazon, whereas both of those companies can. And that's why we focus on them. I can't figure out why.
Let's do mirror display. Let's try that.
So,
It's not working the way it should.
get back to PowerPoint.
Okay. So if you,
Okay, we'll figure this out.
okay, let's try that. I think you might just. No, it's not.
Okay, well,
Something's wrong with your system preference.
It's okay, I'm trying to show you the big slides and have that on my computer so I can talk, because I have all these little secret notes. So you'll get to see all my notes, as long as you can see, what I'm talking about. So, I think we already talked about this, my background. I love helping authors get through the self-publishing process. There's something fascinating to me about taking a bunch of words and turning it into a physical thing. Now, yes, there are ebooks too, but we're not talking about ebooks today except peripherally. And so that's what I love about what I do. It's just, I've always enjoyed taking something that it's magic. You've got this ethereal bunch of words over here, and then you've got a physical thing over here. So, okay? I know. So, we went too far here. Back. Okay. All right, so we know what print on demand is. We're also only talking about black and white books right now. Okay, I'll talk about color a little bit as a peripheral, I love that word, as like on the side kind of thing, like a side dish. But it's not our main focus, because most of you are focused on doing black and white books. All color covers. Covers are always colored. However, looking at both at IngramSpark and KDP, IngramSpark is the better choice for color for a couple of reasons. Their prices are better, and actually that's the only reason. And if you're doing a hardback, okay, then IngramSpark is your only choice. It's the only way to go.
You mean hardback as opposed to
Soft cover.
trade paper?
Well, any kind of paperback. It could be, KDP and IngramSpark for that matter will now do a square format. I wouldn't call that a trade paperback necessarily, but I guess, because you have to understand, I come from a long history in the publishing world, long before all this, revolution that we're living in right now. So sometimes the terms trigger some memory. So KDP is the best channel for getting a paperback book up on Amazon quickly, and the book will always be in stock. And you heard me talk a little bit, if you were here, about the automatic look inside feature. Yes, if you have to do only the IngramSpark, if you're doing color, or you choose to do IngramSpark, and not KDP, if you put the Kindle edition up, yes, Amazon will hook the two books together and use the Kindle edition for the look inside feature. Okay, so IngramSpark, what's great about IngramSpark is you get to bookstores. So if you don't do IngramSpark, bookstores will not talk to you. You walk in with a KDP printed book as a sample to see about them doing a book signing for you, and they will kick you out. I've actually had author clients where that actually happens. Don't come in here with that book. And the reason for that is Amazon made a big dent in the physical bookstore industry. So as you know, there's a lot of the big chains are like gone. There are, thank goodness, a lot of good independent bookstores. We have one group that's headquartered here called Book Passage, and they have now 3 stores. One in Corte Madera, one in Sausalito, and one in San Francisco at the Ferry Building. Yeah?
The Sausalito bookstore just closed.
They closed it? Okay.
Yeah, but stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Okay, well, anyway, and then there are other independent bookstores. There's a wonderful one up in Sonoma called Reader's Books. Okay. But if you don't get into the Ingram catalog, you can't talk to the bookstores. Now, that being said, I'll come back to that. Bookstores, and I think I have this in the slides, just in the wrong place for my brain right now. Bookstores are not your most profitable channel. They are your least profitable channel. You can do way better selling your book on Amazon or selling directly, doing speaking engagements, marketing from your website. There's all kinds of things you can do, but bookstores, you will get the smallest royalty for your bookstore sales, okay? Now, KDP does offer that kind of distribution. They will get you into the Ingram catalog, but they automatically, what happens is your discount is set at 20% for the bookstores, and they don't like that. They can't make money with 20%. So it's too low for any bookstore. But so when you go into IngramSpark, you set the discount at 55%, and the reason it's so high is because IngramSpark will take 15, and that leaves 40% for the bookstores. Okay, and they can live with that. That's normal. Another thing about, this is in general, just doing print on demand, you always should buy your own ISBNs. Okay, so what that means is you go to myidentifiers.com, which is Bowker, which has been around for centuries, I think, and they control the US ISBN market. In other countries like Canada, the UK, there is no charge for ISBNs, but we are living here in the United States, so we deal with it.
What about IBPA?
What?
What about buying them through IBPA?
You cannot buy ISBNs through IBPA. You can get a discount when you're an IBPA member, but I will get to that. I have that in here. Okay, thanks, Lynn. You also need to create a publishing company name. So this goes for you, whether you use KDP and IngramSpark or just one of them. You want to look as professional as possible, and that includes having your own publishing company name. I don't recommend using your name or your baby's name, maybe, who knows, grandchild, whatever, but pick something that means something to you, that looks like a regular publisher, because your goal is to look as much like a regular publisher as possible. I do have clients who say, I want to use my name, Ed Davidson Publishing or whatever. And fine, I explain to them why not to do that, and then it's always, the author's choice. And then the reason you want to do that is when you buy the ISBNs from my identifiers, you put in your company name. There's a place for you to list it, and then you use the same ISBN for both KDP and IngramSpark. Okay, you don't have to use different ISBNs. I get this question all the time. Okay, so Mike, I'm going to sit down.
Would you repeat that last when you use KDP and what? What did you say?
We use KDP and IngramSpark. You use the same ISBN. Okay, so now we come to looking at pricing. Let me see if I can. I'm on the internet. Let's see if I can go away from this. We'll come back. This browser, okay, so that's that. Okay. Let me just pull up IngramSpark. So you don't even have to log in on the IngramSpark website. You guys can see this, right? Okay. So you just go under Resources to Tools, and then you scroll down, and they have all these wonderful calculators. And the one I like to use is this Publisher Compensation Calculator. And so you put in the trim size, let's just say 6x9. The interior color is black. You have a choice of stocks, both with KDP and IngramSpark. Their paper is a little bit different, but it's comparable. You do your paperback, perfect bound. Let's go with a matte finish. Let's say it's 250 pages. And we're going to charge $14.95 for it, okay? Oops. I'm doing this one-handed, so. Discount 55. Oh, they're raising the prices. Okay. So you would make $2.44 here. Okay, now let me bring up this little calculator. There we go. So this is from KDP. So we're going to switch to black ink, 250, $14.95. Okay, so here are your printing costs. You guys see that?
What's the discount?
Their discount is a standard, basically 40%. Okay, well, it comes out. I don't want to get into that. Okay, it's less than you make more money with Amazon. All right, that's the thing you have to remember with KDP. So your printing costs are less. So we said 4 something over there, and it's $3.85 here. They even tell you what your minimum list price would be, okay? And here's the royalty with $14.95, so it's double what you would get from IngramSpark. That's the other reason why you should be using KDP to get your book up on Amazon, right? So one of the things, let's go back to our PowerPoint. And is you want to go back and forth and check that. So this is what we just did. We looked at the IngramSpark calculator and we looked at the KDP calculator. So you can, when you're pricing your book, this is separate from whether it's KDP or IngramSpark, you need to look at what's out there in the marketplace for comparable books like yours. Okay. Now, there may be, especially in the children's book category, there may be books that are priced really low, and you're just gonna have to bite the bullet and go higher in order to be able to make any money. Okay. But basically, you use these two calculators, go back and forth. Before you commit to anything, if you're gonna do both KDP and IngramSpark, then you need to check your pricing in both. Okay. So I also recommend that you do the paperback first with KDP. Sean? Yeah.
Should the retail price that you're setting be the same?
Yes. You need to set your retail price the same wherever you sell your book. Now, in theory, you have some options if you're out doing a speaking engagement. You can offer a discount, but the retail price that you promote needs to be the same, okay? Doing the paperback first. Something happens when you see a printed proof in your hands that you miss things when you look at it on a screen. If you're always looking at PDFs and you've looked at it a million times, then you will miss things. So when you get a printed proof, even if it has that not for resale band on it, doesn't matter, then you have an opportunity to just see what else is there. I have clients who read the book all the way through again or give it to somebody else who hasn't looked at it yet, okay? And just see what comes up. We've caught typos, we've caught design issues, like where the subhead wasn't in the right font or things like that. So you always want to do your paperback first. Some people like to do ebooks. Some people only publish ebooks, but that's not us right now. But we're going to look at, I have to go back to the internet. Okay, so I'm going to show you my husband's book. Okay, and I hope you guys aren't too shocked. It's an erotic romance. It's been out for several years. Our publishing company name is Nifty Paws Press.
What
Come
is
on.
this?
Nifty Paws Press, if you see my email there. Come on, you. By the way, I use LastPass to keep track of all my passwords. Okay, so you're seeing what I'm seeing. You can't see everything on this, but this is what comes up first, okay? Then you go, actually let me go back to the beginning. Okay, so the bookshelf has your books listed like this. Now everything is live. I have not done a print edition of Eureka. This is one situation where I did do an ebook because he had a speaking engagement at the time, and I just wanted to get it up there. I didn't have time to go through the whole design thing. Okay, so if you look over here, even after you've set the book up, this little 3-dot ellipses thing takes you to this menu. So we're gonna go to edit book details. Now when you're setting up a new book, it will automatically take you through these steps. But this is the kind of thing that's on here, okay? Book title, subtitle, if I had a series, edition number, if it's a new edition, like Sean's book, this is a third edition, author, any other contributors, description. So you can put, this is where you put your description, all right? Yes, you own the copyright, because they don't like you publishing public domain works. And then you do keywords. Now we're gonna come back to talking about keywords this afternoon, because the latest information that we have is that we can fill these fields, okay? And so there's 50 characters, and so they can just be individual words. They don't have to be natural language. and the Amazon search engine will search on them. You have 2 categories, so this was a book that came over from CreateSpace. Somebody was saying they still need to do that. So I had fiction erotica, and then I did nonfiction, self-help, sexual instruction, just to see if I could get it passed. Okay, I don't know if they'll okay that. And am I in the, oh, I'm in the Kindle edition. Let me go back. This is the one I already changed. This is the paperback. So the Kindle edition, they did take my second category. Sometimes they will fuss about a fiction and nonfiction thing. So either your book is one or the other. So here I selected romance erotica, because it is a romance, but it is erotic. Okay. And then I just wanted to point out here something we can touch on a little bit more this afternoon, is that you can put basic HTML coding in here. And I have a crib sheet that I will post, I'll add to my PowerPoint that I'm gonna send out to you guys. Oh, speaking of which, on my table back there, I have some sign-up sheets with all the hoorah with the AV. Lorna, thank you. Can you distribute them around? So what I'm gonna do, we are gonna post the video that Mike is doing, plus I'm gonna post my PowerPoint slides, just the regular slides without all my notes. So, then I'm also going to email you the PowerPoint, a PDF of it, all right? And I have some resource page that I've been building. So I'm gonna send you, everybody who's here, who signs up on the sheet will get that. So one of the things I'm gonna put on there is my basic HTML stuff, okay? So this one does contain language, situations, or images inappropriate for children under 18 years old. That's a whole other conversation, but, okay. So I'm gonna save that. And this is the same process you go through to set up a book in KDP. Now, if you're brand new to KDP, then they will ask you to set up an account first. And this is a book that came over from CreateSpace. And then you get to choose, whether you're doing black and white with cream paper, black and white with white paper, or color interior with white paper. This is the trim size. It doesn't bleed. Everybody know what bleed means?
Yeah.
Okay, who doesn't know what bleed means? All right.
No, Ms. Clemens.
Huh?
Please go ahead.
Okay. So bleed trim means that your artwork, not typography, not your text, but your artwork in the interior goes all the way to the edge. So in setting up a file for a bleed trim book, you need to allow another 1/8 of an inch, for that to be trimmed off in the boundary, all right?
Then don't you want bleed? Don't you want bleed?
No, you want to have enough there so so the artwork goes all the way to the edge, but you have to give them more to trim off so it looks like it's off the edge. So you have extra.
Doesn't bleed refer to the cover?
Cover is always bleed. Okay, you always have an 1/8 of an inch all the way around. I'm not going to get into those kinds of production things. We don't have time. Speaking of time, okay. And then you have a choice between matte and glossy finish, right? And then you get to upload your files. So here's where you upload they say manuscript. This drives me crazy because they will do some kind of conversion, but I don't trust it. So I always do, either have a designer work with me to do the layout, or I do my own layouts and I create a print-ready PDF. So that's also a production issue. And that's what I upload here, okay? And then the cover, this is just the front cover. It will show you that once you've uploaded it. So you upload your cover file. And whether you put a barcode in there yourself or not, you have the option to not put your own barcode in there, but you can and you should if you want to embed the price in the barcode. And if you have questions about that, we can talk about it later. Now, one of the nifty things about KDP now, actually even CreateSpace, they have this preview. Your screen size may be too small, yeah, so we're not gonna do that. I always recommend, that they'll require you to launch this previewer and approve it. And it'll show you a sort of flipping book. It's different, for those of you who worked with CreateSpace, it's a different previewer. But one of the wonderful advantages is that it shows you the cover. With CreateSpace, we could never see how the cover would work, whether, the spine was in the right position and there was enough bleed and all that kind of stuff. And with KDP, you can't see that. Sean?
Have you encountered any issues with something that was CreateSpace and it was just moved over to KDP automatically?
I have not personally, but I've heard that there
Could you
are
repeat
sometimes.
the question?
Oh, I'm sorry. The question was, have I encountered any issues moving a book from CreateSpace to KDP where the files were okay with CreateSpace, but not with KDP? So Lee, did you have, can somebody run a mic? And I just wanna I don't wanna get into a whole discussion about this because it's beyond what I really wanna focus on today. There's a lot, for you guys to know about this. Yeah. Eric's bringing you a mic.
I just moved 4 books over from CreateSpace to KDP.
Is that on?
And
Can you Lee, repeat yourself?
it's on.
It's on.
And then this past 2 weeks, I went in and fine-tuned a lot of stuff. And be careful about all the metadata that you assumed got carried over
But that's not what we're talking about, Lee.
But I mean that, if she moved it over, don't assume that metadata came okay.
Yeah, that, you should always check everything, but if you have a problem with the files were fine on CreateSpace, but they're not on KDP, unfortunately, those of us who worked with CreateSpace, we could pick up the phone and talk to people and find out what's going on. That is not the case anymore. You can reach somebody through Author Central. I've done that where I just did not understand the email they were sending back to me, what is wrong here? And, but for the most part, KDP has turned into a self-service platform, okay? And for the most part, it works just fine, okay? So once the paperback is set up, Katie, you go back and you saw that I had the Kindle edition for Kurt's book. All I had to do was say add Kindle edition, and it pulled in all of the metadata, title, subtitle, keywords, book description, everything. So all I had to do was upload the Kindle edition and then put in the price, okay? So they make it really easy. Now you can do the reverse, you can do the Kindle edition first and then do the paperback, but I don't recommend that.
I have a question.
Was there a question?
Yeah, what does KDP mean?
KDP stands for Kindle Direct Publishing because they were originally set up just to publish Kindle editions. And they haven't changed the name. So everybody just calls it KDP, don't agonize over it. Okay, so you can order proofs before or after publishing, okay? And KDP proofs will have that band like Karen was showing you. And actually I have some books that I have meant to bring up here. Let's see, who's, Lorna? There's a bag underneath the table. The gray bag. Can you bring those books up here so I can have a little show and tell?
How long does it take them to give you a straight proof?
It takes about, not long, like 2 to 3 days. And the reason that it doesn't take very long, thank you, my able assistant. is because no real person is checking the files. And they're only doing an electronic sort of, computer check of your files. So I've had this experience a couple times now where, okay, we looked at the proofs, we're happy, we uploaded new files, we okayed to publish, and then I get an email like, well, sorry, but your cover is, the spine isn't quite right. It isn't the right width. Well, it looked good to me when I looked at the previewer, but, who knows? So you may have to adjust things after you click on the publish thing. Normally, it will go very fast. Your book could be up in 24 to 72 hours at the most, okay? Now, IngramSpark. So let's see. So here's another book with that band on it, and then here's the regular edition. And here's Wendy's book with that band on. And as I mentioned before, you can use those proofs for advanced reviews. You can hand them out to people, Beth.
If you do that, are they considered an authentic reviewer on Amazon? Because I thought they had to have some demonstration.
No,
You have to do that.
them being able to review, do an Amazon review is different than what I'm talking about. I'm talking about collecting what I call blurbs to put either on the back cover or on the inside, front page. Okay, that's what I'm talking about using these for, right? So IngramSpark. So as I said, IngramSpark you use, mainly to get to bookstores. There are some pros about them. Your book goes into the Ingram catalog, which means bookstores and libraries, can find it and buy it. But also, it'll be listed on a number of other online retailers. So BarnesandNoble.com is great to have your book on, because when you do your ebook later through Smashwords or Drafted Digital or whatever, it goes up on Barnes & Noble, and they will hook the paperback to the ebook. So you look, it has more of a presence. With IngramSpark, you can actually talk to somebody. Okay. They also have a wonderful live chat service. I love live chat for anybody, for any service I'm buying. And you can also do pre-sales. Somebody mentioned pre-sales before. You can do pre-sales with IngramSpark. You can do it even if you want to put it up with KDP, but it's tricky, okay? Cons. They're generally not as quick to respond, like you upload your files and you're waiting for an okay and all that. They're not as quick as KDP. However, they're getting better. I just noticed that, I get sometimes 24-hour turnarounds even. And you'll get even faster turnarounds sometimes if you're uploading revised files, okay? They charge fees is another con, okay? They charge $49 title upload fee. However, I'm going to talk about how you can get around that. Their online interface, although it's gotten better, it's not as easy to navigate as KDP's. Now, here's how you get IngramSpark for free. Be a member of BAIPA, first of all, $90 a year right now. And actually you can sign, if you're not a member, you can sign up now in July for $75, because we're doing this prorated thing, shifting everybody to renewing on the same date in 2020, and therefore after that. So you will save $49 off the top. Oh, I'm sorry, second one, join IBPA. So somebody mentioned IBPA before. IBPA is the Independent Book Publishers Association. It's the national version of BAIPA. And BAIPA is a registered affiliate of IBPA, which is why they will give you $30 off their membership if you're a BAIPA member. They also have other great discounts. You can get 15% off your ISBNs. Okay, that's just a little plug for IBPA. Okay, so that's basically what I wanted to cover this morning, and we have time for lots of questions, about a half-hour questions. And then we are gonna do the workshop this afternoon, and what I'm gonna do is dive deeper into KDP and show you some of those other menu things that, from the 3 dots. And then we're also gonna look at how to set up a book on IngramSpark. Okay? So, questions?
Hi Ruth, thanks an awful lot. Do you have any ideas or recommendations, and that is my book that Ruth helped me with, which was a great project,
Yeah.
about putting black and white pictures into a book. How well does it work, and what are your thoughts about the wisdom of doing that?
Well, it depends on the book. You know, if your book will have, be a better book with pictures, you know, like when we put the pictures of the people who, you know, gave you those statements, I think that's a good idea. The production issue with pictures for both KDP and IngramSpark is to make sure they're light enough, because with print on demand, everything prints a little bit darker in terms of pictures. Okay, so and that's another good reason to, you know, get proofs, is you get to see what it's gonna look like. Now, at the same time, because it is print on demand, every time you order more books, they might look a little different. Okay, just know that, that's just the way it is. And so you're going for a pleasing looking book, okay? Bill?
You said the $49 upload fee would be waived if you are a member of both BAIPA and IDP?
Well, the reason I say be a member of BAIPA is because IBPA will give you $30 off their membership, okay? But all you really need to do is join IBPA, and then you can save the $49.
Gotcha.
I had a question related to that.
Eric, give her the mic, please.
Thank you. I thought first you said that there was a way to get it free, and then I heard
Yeah.
you say 30% off, so I'm confused.
No, you get the IngramSpark fees waived. That's what's free. You get IngramSpark for free.
If you're a member of BAIPA only.
No,
No, if you're.
if you're a member of IBPA, and if you are a member of BAIPA, you get a discount on the IBPA membership.
And then you get the 49.
And then you save the $49.
So if you're just a member of BAIPA, you don't get any discount.
Correct.
We don't have any discount relationships with anybody right now.
Except for membership.
Carol, give the phone. Hi, Ronnie.
I had a comment, 2 comments.
Yeah.
One back to royalty and pricing for people who haven't been on Amazon very much. Amazon tends to they will often lower your list price. If you have it $20, they'll sell it for $17.
What? It's on.
Hold it closer.
Why did you?
Okay. Amazon will generally lower the price of your book. If you have the list price as 20, they may be selling it for 17. But you get the royalty on the 20.
Right.
They don't ever do the royalty on what they sell it for. And I think if you're getting the proofs from KDP and you're gonna use them to get blurbs, I think they'll only let you get 5.
5 at a time.
Okay.
Okay, you can go back and put in another order if you wanted to. Okay, 5 in each order.
If you want proof copies from KDP.
Okay.
I noticed under the, can you hear? I noticed under the, paper selection that there was, I think, 3 that you could pick.
Well, there's 2 papers or color.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And is that always 60-pound paper, do you know?
With KDP, it is, and with IngramSpark, it's 50 pound. And however, with IngramSpark, you have more paper options, more printing quality options with color.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was concerned with, since mine's falls in the activity realm, if you could get any kind of heavier paper.
You can't. That's one of the other downsides of print on demand, is that you cannot, you don't have a lot of paper choices to pick from, like if you were doing a regular print run. Okay, next.
I've always had mine, I did through Create Space, and they automatically moved them over when the big change came.
Right.
But the question I had, do you recommend doing the print with IngramSpark and the ebook with KDP, or because then with IngramSpark you can get in the catalog, or?
I know, I recommend doing both KDP and IngramSpark.
For both paperback and ebook?
Let me answer the ebook question separately.
Okay.
So for the printed books, to do KDP first and then IngramSpark. And the reason, do KDP first is you get, the proofs faster, okay? It doesn't cost you anything. And you have this direct channel to Amazon, okay? So your book will always be in stock. And you get that look inside feature, okay? And then you go over and do IngramSpark.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay, so
Yeah.
you're doing both for paperback. You're using
Right,
both services
right.
for paperback.
Right.
But Amazon, you load up KDP for Amazon and you're done.
Yeah, IngramSpark also will get your book up on Amazon.
Yeah, but
Okay.
you don't do that if you've done KDP already, right?
Right,
And then IngramSpark, you do send it where?
no. You do KDP, it gets your book up on Amazon,
Right.
okay? All over the world, okay? They have lots of, websites, even Australia now. Then you go over to IngramSpark, because now you've looked at the proofs, you know the book is fine, you're gonna upload these files, to IngramSpark.
Got it.
And that will get you into the Ingram catalog. Now, if you hadn't already set up the book with that ISBN on KDP, IngramSpark would also
Got it,
send
okay.
it to Amazon.
That I didn't understand. Okay, so
Okay.
that's the reason to do both, so that you get in the catalog with IngramSpark.
Right, because KDP won't get you there,
And then you deal with ebook later. Okay,
Yeah.
great, thanks.
okay? Bill?
KDP, when you choose white, black on white, the paper is thinner than cream.
The way it is. So it's just the way it is. So, and the papers may change off and on, you can come look at, I've got a variety of books. I think these are all KDP books, but I'm not positive. And it's okay, it's just the way it is. I make the white or cream decision based on design. So if the cover, like this book, white paper just seemed a little too stark, so we went with cream. Okay? Does that answer your question, Bill?
I thought you had said that all these papers were the same. And
Not
I'm saying
exactly the
they're
same.
not the same, yeah.
Not exactly the same. IngramSpark buys their paper from some places, and KDP does their paper from other places. And I have heard that, IngramSpark or KDP might print with the same printing houses, that do print on demand, because that's a whole industry behind these interfaces that we're working with. Yeah, so, Ray?
For the black and white, can you hear me?
Yeah, but it's not very loud.
I'll speak louder.
Eric's gonna work on that. Okay, what's your
Well,
question?
Yes, there it is. For the black and white paperback books that have photos in them, black and white photos, I use the white paper.
Yeah,
Because I was concerned about the quality of the photos showing through, but it's not particularly a weight that I would have liked a little heavier weight,
yes,
and maybe we don't have a choice?
nope,
Okay, thanks.
okay,
So, Ruth, about the cream paper,
yeah.
do you think a book on forgiveness would warrant cream paper?
What is your cover like? Yeah,
Okay,
You've got rounds and stuff in it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
purples.
I think cream paper would be great.
Okay,
A lot of people say cream paper is easier to read on. Okay,
okay, great, thanks.
okay. Somebody who hasn't asked a question already, anybody over here? Sean?
I get another one anyways.
Yeah,
Isn't there some part of our agreement with Amazon that we'd have to look at to make sure we can go to IngramSpark?
no,
Okay. That's easy.
nothing in the agreement. I think it was somebody back, Lee, okay.
When you were speaking of ISBNs, I noticed that IngramSpark will sell them, but I haven't really looked
No,
into it.
IngramSpark does not sell ISBNs.
Well, they say that on their website, and I just wondered if there was a discount.
Let's go look.
They might provide one, right?
They might provide a free one.
That's it.
Okay, do not ever use the free ISBNs that they offer you, okay? Because they will then show up as the publisher. And I didn't know IngramSpark did that, because I'm so tuned into, having my clients use their own
Maybe they
ISBNs.
got them from bulk, or it was just a convenience. but
Well, it's
they-
convenient, but it makes you look less professional.
Oh, I
Okay.
thought maybe they were giving you credit, but added a fee for doing it for you.
I don't know, let's look. So I need to log in somewhere. Oh. Come on. How do I get back? Or actually, let's just do a search. Let's see what it says about ISBNs, okay?
I found it.
Yeah?
It says an ISBN is an expense many self-publishing authors are confused about. Some self-publishing services offer free ISBNs, this is from IngramSpark's website.
Right.
Offer free ISBNs when you use their service. This may seem like a no-brainer, why would you pay for an ISBN when you can get one for free? But what many authors don't realize is that if you do not purchase the ISBN yourself, your publisher imprint will not be associated with your book.
Right.
So they're not promoting to buy it.
Yeah, IngramSpark does not provide ISBNs. KDP will give you a free ISBN, but then KDP shows up as the publisher. Does that answer your question, Carol?
Well,
Where did you read that?
just Google.
Doesn't matter.
ISBN
Well,
and IngramSpark, and it
that-
comes up.
My brother and I have read something different, but that's okay.
Okay.
As you were reading it.
On the same page you Google. Yeah.
Buy your own ISBN.
Keep going down a little bit, make it work.
I have about 3 ideas then. I didn't.
Okay, hold on. Who has the mic?
I do.
Can you stand up, please? And just so you know, I sit down a lot because I have a bum leg, okay?
You're entitled to do it all the work. I don't know.
Closer.
Okay, sorry.
No, like an ice cream cone.
Hi, okay. Sorry, I don't even know if this is a great question, but,
All questions are great questions.
okay. I'm a book editor, I've worked with book designers, I haven't done any of this myself. So I came today to hear what you had to say, and I understand the recommendation about using KDP first. And I wondered if this was another reason to do it, or if it was overlapping, and it's not a good, So, the book designers I've worked with work on Create Space to design the book and.
No.
And then, okay, so.
No, they don't work on Create Space to design the book. That's
Okay.
a non sequitur.
Then it probably is, but like I said, I don't do that end of things, but that they would always go through KDP first.
Right.
Now KDP first, and then always upload it to IngramSpark for the reasons you said.
Right.
But I wonder if
you made it a recommendation, and I wonder if another reason to recommend it is because it's an easier way so that.
Yeah, the IngramSpark interface is a little more complicated. It's not impossible, and they keep improving it. They know that, they've made it complicated. And the reason it's complicated, by the way, is because it's the front-end portal for self-publishers for a company called Lightning Source. Now, Lightning Source has been around forever. They were the original print-on-demand printing company, okay? And they do regular print runs as well. So back in the day, before the technology came about that we could do good quality print-on-demand, Lightning Source was like a regular printer, and they would print a number of books and then, deliver them to Amazon, and, it was a little more complicated. So we're dealing with a regular printer that speaks in printerese, okay? And they would try talking to us as self-publishers, and it just didn't work. So they created this IngramSpark portal, okay? And I'm not sure if that addresses your question or not.
Actually, it addresses another quick question, which is, I know there are other companies you can use, like Lulu, whatever, Reads is a new one. It's like 10 of them. But are they not good for our purposes? Because, yeah, you can create your book, but you won't be able to upload it and publish it and get it up on Amazon.
That's a whole other pathway, and they're more expensive,
Okay,
okay?
that's enough of an answer.
Yeah.
Just another comment on this black and white photo issue in our print-on-demand books. Another way to go is to do a book, and I'm in the travel field, to do a book with color pictures printed, like with Lorna in China. And I did 3,000 copies of this travel literary book, and I've sold about 2,500, so I still have 500 left. But I put the book a couple of years ago in black and white, print on demand with Amazon and with Ingram. And I did that because color in the POD world is too expensive at this point, and the quality is not as good as these offset.
Right.
And a critical thing is that, tomorrow someone in England might want to buy my book, and if I've got it sitting at my house, beautifully printed in color, that will never happen. But if it's POD black and white with CreateSpace or Ingram, it'll happen.
So Lee, do you also have that as a color ebook?
It is a total color ebook.
Right.
I mean, all ebooks should be color.
Right. If you have pictures,
Yeah.
you should definitely put them in color.
Yeah, and so, the future of a lot of coffee table books is electronic in some markets, because it's very low cost.
Yeah.
To have an ebook.
But the only downside, is, like you said, you have to handle fulfillment.
Yeah.
Now there are, I'm not gonna go there, but Amazon has all these different, ways that you can work with them to ship books and all of that. But, even then, somebody in England orders it, I don't know what their fulfillment issue, might be, so.
Do you know about bookdepository.com?
Yeah,
That's
that's
one
what,
way to get books in Europe.
that's through IngramSpark.
Oh, is it?
You get into Book Depository through IngramSpark. Yeah.
If you go with IngramSpark, does your book automatically become available on Nook and other non-Kindle ebook readers?
Okay, Nook is an ebook.
Right.
Okay? I do not recommend using IngramSpark for ebooks. They take too much money. There are Smashwords is better. My go-to company is called Draft2Digital, DRAFT2Digital. And they will get you up all sorts of places, including 3 outlets that cater to libraries. Okay, which is really, that's the coming thing with ebooks now, is libraries are developing ebook collections because then they don't have to spend quite so much money for a print edition nor find the shelf space. Okay, who's next?
Ruth, am I correct in understanding that one of the financial
Can
reasons?
you guys put the lights up again, please?
It seems like you might have also had a financial reason for going to KDP first, because if they've got that ISBN, they're going to sell it as their,
No.
as theirs first?
No.
No, your ISBN on your book, you said KDP first. Is it because they're going to sell it
On
through
Amazon.
KDP first and the financial
Who's they?
KDP,
Yeah.
Amazon?
Yeah,
Okay, so, if they're putting only a 40% discount on it,
right.
it's not likely to be going into bookstores anyway.
No, you do not get to bookstores through KDP. There actually is a way through their expanded distribution,
Yeah,
but don't do that, because all it does is put you in the Ingram catalog offering a 20% discount.
okay, so I'm not getting it, why to go with KDP first?
I know, you're
On
an
a
Ingram,
financial-
you're an IngramSpark committed person, okay?
Well, I do both, but not paper with KDP, only the Kindle, and,
Yeah,
because we
well-
make zero money from Spark.
Well, your royalty, as I showed when I did the
Yeah.
comparison, your royalty with IngramSpark is going to be less than it is
Yes.
with KDP. That's the
Okay.
bottom line.
Okay, so it's not that, see, it seems to me that therefore KDP would be selling their version quicker.
No, what do
It's
you mean
not a
quicker?
version, I
No,
know.
so the thing is, there's these two companies,
Sorry.
KDP and IngramSpark, okay? They both will connect you to Amazon, they will both get you up on Amazon. But with
Right.
KDP, your royalty will be bigger at a particular price point than it will, wait, let me finish. And then if you go through IngramSpark at that same price point with 55% discount. Now, you can set your discount at IngramSpark anywhere you want within some limits, okay? So that's a whole other conversation, but if you're going for this whole, if you're looking at getting to bookstores and to Amazon and only using IngramSpark, then you really should set your discount at 55%, therefore you're making less money on the Amazon sales.
Okay, so if I'm a buyer of a book, I don't know on Amazon whether it came through
Doesn't matter.
Ingram or not.
Doesn't matter to the buyers. They
Well,
don't,
I know it
they
doesn't matter to the
they have
buyer,
no
but
clue.
does it matter to us?
It only matters if you're looking at how much you're gonna make in royalties. Okay? We can talk later, Katie.
Okay. So, do you know how to differentiate?
Wait, Eric, bring the mic up here, please. Oh, I'm sorry.
I have a sequence.
I have a quick question.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a quick question.
Yeah,
I have a book that I wrote, I'm writing another book that's a sequel to it.
yeah.
Do I need another ISBN?
Absolutely.
Or use the second one?
You need a unique ISBN for every book.
Okay.
You can never reuse an ISBN,
Okay.
okay?
Got it,
Okay.
very clear.
Okay.
Another question is there somebody in here who helps you with this? I mean, really? Yeah, like, I need somebody.
How do you think I got all this knowledge?
Yeah, so I need to sit down with somebody and help me with it. You need to hire me. Thank you.
Okay, you probably saw my notes from the last slide. I do offer complimentary half-hour consultations, okay? We can do them on the phone, we can do them in Zoom, we can do them in person, if you wanna come over here and meet me at Pete's around the corner.
Hi, Ruth, CG here. Question, when you do a series of books and you know the back matter, you want to promote a connected book to the one you're newly publishing, and usually I put, you know, a picture of the cover. Is it more expensive though? I don't care if it's, it's probably prettier in color, but does it cost more in a
Yes.
paperback to put a color picture
Yes.
at the back?
Yes, it does, because then your book is a color book.
Right, so that's not a good idea in paperback, but in the ebook edition, you
Absolutely.
would put it in color at the back.
Absolutely, yeah.
And link the books with
Yeah.
links and so on.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Quick question, maybe I missed this, but, so, if you have black and white photos, would you not want cream, or could you go for cream?
You can go for cream. You know, that, yeah, one of the beauties also, not with IngramSpark so much, but with KDP, you can switch back and forth. You can order some proofs on white, and then you can go back and change the specs. You saw where those options were. You can change it to cream, and then order some more proofs, and just see. That's what we did with the Primo book.
So proofs you can get both, black and white
Yeah,
and cream.
once you
but
commit, once you publish,
Then you have to.
you can't change it.
decide. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I hope this is appropriate. Is reprint the same as, you said they didn't prefer public domain. I have 3 articles in these books, for like, a discussion, from a magazine where I was interviewed, and I wanna put the whole interview in.
That's
I have
that's a
permission.
content question, Tony. I'm sorry to cut you short, but that's
Okay,
that's a
that's what I-
content question, and Kelly would be a good person to talk to about that.
Okay, thank you very
Okay.
much.
Is imprint the same as your publishing
Yes.
name? Okay.
Oh, we're getting back finally. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. So I have several books up on Amazon, and then, they put the money into your bank account, and so it just has those-
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, well, anyway, it has those little numbers, but I don't know how to figure out which books are selling over which books. Do I have to go onto the website?
That's a whole, you have to go into your KDP account. You should be able to see it in the report about which books generated, there should be each book should have a line. Okay. Gordon?
Ruth, you said you can't reuse ISBNs. What if you update a book? It's the same book.
Well, if you update a book and your changes are more than 10%, in theory, you should use a new ISBN. And if you're marketing it as an updated edition, you definitely want to use a new ISBN.
Thank you.
Okay.
I have kind of a weird question, and I really don't know the answer, and I've been wondering. I still use Lightning Source.
Okay, great.
If a school contacts me,
Yeah.
and they want 50 copies of my book, and they don't have maybe an account with Ingram, will Lightning Source ship to them?
You can drop ship it. You can go into your Lightning Source account and put in an order and their address, yes.
So I pay Lightning Source, and then I have to work out the money with whoever buys it. Okay.
About the shipping.
Thank you.
And yeah, Arlene, I would have them cover the shipping.
Right. Oh, yeah, shipping's expensive.
Yeah.
They're going to book.
I did that for 50 paperbacks for an event those days it was pretty expensive, but it was
Yeah.
went into my own account, ordered 50, and then negotiated them to
Right.
pay for the shipping, but it was drop shipped to them, so I wasn't schlepping 50 bucks
Yeah.
on the airport.
Yeah, well, then you do that for your own speaking engagements, but more importantly, these kinds of sales that Arlene is talking about are really good sales. Those are the kinds of things you wanna go for if you can, if your book is appropriate for particular markets, is to reach out and do marketing to, organizations or companies or whatever who will make a bulk purchase. And with both, Arlene is already with Lightning Source from before IngramSpark started. But if you're with KDP or IngramSpark, you can log into the back end of your account and place an order and ship it directly to them. And you'll get your wholesale pricing and your shipping costs, and then you negotiate the price, with the people who bought it. And for me, I would make sure I had payment first.
I have one more question about this.
if you wanna update your book and it's more than 10%
Yeah?
of a change, I realize you need a new ISBN, but can you also change from whoever the self-publisher was that you had before, can you switch?
Yeah,
out?
it's a new book.
So you're not held up by any contract?
No.
Thank you.
Well, Ray, that being said, if the title is exactly the same, and it's just a new edition with a new SBN, I don't know. You know, why,
Change the subtitle.
yeah, if you're talking about the whole thing with outskirts,
Right.
okay, yes, they have it listed under their company with their ISBN, okay? You're gonna, you paid for the ISBN. You paid them though.
I did.
Okay, you didn't buy a block of 10 from My Identifiers, okay. So what I'm recommending is you buy a block of 10 from My Identifiers and use them no matter where you wanna go, okay?
But I can use the same name, change the subtitle,
Yes,
and that becomes a non-issue for them.
yeah, new ISBN,
Okay.
okay. We got a couple more minutes.
Hi, so, Judy, thank you. I just wanna get the sequence of
Yeah.
like putting up a new book, okay? Go to KDP for the paperback. Don't do, according to your recommendation, do not do the ebook through KDP.
No,
Then go-
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. For ebooks, I recommend once you have the ebook generated, and I used to, create my own ebooks and stuff, and it was, a little bit of pulling hair in the middle of the night, because I wanted it to be perfect, And I finally gave up on that, and I have 2 teams in India that do my ebooks, and depending on how complicated they are. Like, for Carl's book, I went to one team, and for Wendy's book, I went to the other team, okay? They will give you a Kindle edition, or you can create a Kindle edition by uploading something to Kindle through KDP, all right? You can upload your Word file, and they will turn it into a Kindle edition. Okay. Yeah, it's a Mobi file, but I'm just looking, the different options. And then everything else goes through, Draft Digital. You don't wanna spend time trying to reach all these different retailers. That's not what you should be doing, you should be writing, okay? And so you use companies like Draft Digital or Smashwords, but I don't recommend using IngramSpark offers, ebook distribution, but they take a bigger chunk of your money.
So what's the sequence?
Paperback, KDP, then get your ebooks done. While your ebooks are being done, you can set up the paperback on IngramSpark, and then you get your ebooks and you upload the Mobi file to KDP and the other one to Draft Digital. And then you're up everywhere. Okay? How we doing? 1 more minute, guys.
Was there
Jay?
anybody else? Yeah.
Back there.
Is there an elevator speech barcodes?
An elevator speech about barcodes. What, you have a specific question about barcodes?
I know nothing about barcodes.
Okay, here's my elevator speech about barcodes. Don't bother paying My Identifiers the $25 to get the barcode art. There are lots of freebie, and I'll put them on my resource sheet. There are lots of free places to get those barcodes. Secondly, bookstores like to have the price embedded in the barcodes, but some people say it doesn't matter. Okay? You have to have a barcode on the back of your cover, no matter what. If you don't have the price embedded, both KDP will generate one. There's a little box you check if you do have a barcode in your artwork. With IngramSpark, you have to get their template and they will provide the barcode there. They don't put it in automatically. You have to grab their barcode. So one freebie way to get a barcode is to get the IngramSpark template for the cover, grab the barcode out of their little layout and plop it into your cover design. and you're done. Okay? Okay, one more? Is it?
Since ISBNs have come up and Ruth is rightfully recommending you buy your own, I want to tell you what I learned the traditional hard way. If you buy that herd of 10, you're like, oh wow, well, I'm gonna assign this ISBN to this title and this ISBN to this title, and then you're gonna write them, you've wasted those ISBNs.
Right.
Because you can't change anything once you've assigned it.
Right.
Don't do that.
Thank you, Sean, good point. Okay. I think we're gonna cut it off for now. Hopefully, a lot of you will stay for the workshop. I promise I'll make it worth your while.
Thank you so much, Ruth, for being a wonderful program. Remember when you used to work and you had a lunch break of like 30 or 45 minutes? That's where we are today. There's a shopping center